Hello, Georgia State Young Alumni. Welcome to our virtual informational session for the Georgia State University Young Alumni Council. We are so excited to be here virtually with you today. I'm Kristen Belk, our Young Alumni Council's Vice President for the 2021-22 cohort. I graduated in the summer of 2017 with a Bachelor's of Science in Computer Science. So we have a lot of exciting information to cover with you today, showcasing the beauty of our Young Alumni Council. So to kick things off, I'll go ahead and get us introduced to our panelists. Joining with us today are the members who serve on our executive committee board. Please welcome Denise, Troy, Javon, and Chauncey. Hi, y'all.
Hey.
Hey, Kristen.
Hey, how are you?
What's up?
Thanks for getting us together. I'm excited for this session. By way of introduction, my name is Denise Kennedy. I am a two-time graduate of Georgia State University studying communication studies in undergrad and through a master's degree in which I finished in 2014. I am serving my third and final year with the Young Alumni Council, currently acting as its president.
Awesome. Sad to see you leave, Denise. Don't leave us. Hey, everyone, my name is Troy Curtin, and I currently serve as the Partnerships and Engagement Chair for the Young Alumni Council this year. I graduated from the Andrew Young School of Policy Studies in 2019 with my master's in public administration. And so super excited to get to share with you a little bit more about what YAC is.
How's everybody doing? My name is Javon Page. I am a spring 2016 graduate of Georgia State University by way of the Andrew Young School of Policy Studies with a degree in public policy. I'm also the events chair and marketing chair for Young Alumni Council. Glad to be here.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Chauncey Walker. I am a graduate of the Arts and Science Colleges of 2015 with my bachelor's in art administration, and I currently serve as the Assistant Director of Constituent Relations for the Alumni Association at Georgia State, and I also advise the Young Alumni Council.
Awesome. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here live with us today. So we have our virtual open house today with our executive committee to answer some pressing questions about who and what YAC is and how you can get involved with us. And then also gonna speak a little bit about our recruitment process. So let's get started. Chauncey, thank you for being here with us today. So you are the reason why the Young Alumni Council has been here for the last 5 years. So can you explain to us what is the Young Alumni Council?
Although I would love to take credit for it, I can't fully take credit for being the reason why the council is here, but I have been involved since its inauguration, and I have truly enjoyed seeing the growth from year 1 to year 5, and I can't wait to see what year 10 and on looks like. So I know it's going to be great. So the Young Alumni Council, or better known as YAC, is an organization composed of Georgia State graduates under the age of 40 that are dedicated to fostering and sustaining relationships with young alumni. The council works with the Alumni Association and our board of directors to formally advise on the interests of young alumni at Georgia State University. The council aims to build a foundational network of resources to engage young alumni by providing a form of enriching opportunities and experiences.
Thank you for that explanation, Chauncey. So now we know what YAC is. Madam President, please share with us what our YAC mission and values are that new members must commit to.
Sure, yeah. So the mission and values of the Young Alumni Council are relatively simple. We really just want to create an environment of empowerment for all young alumni so that they begin to create and maintain a vested interest in this global community that is Georgia State University.
Right. And it's important to know we are brand ambassadors for Georgia State University as well. So Denise, how does this align with our purpose for the organization?
Yeah, the purpose of the Young Alumni Council is to provide the foundation and the resources with which young alumni can build and sustain those networks. And we want to foster a lifelong relationship with the universities. So with the programming and the initiatives that we've created in our really brief history, and that we're going to talk about a little bit more, I think, is that we believe we've really started to impress and grow the young alumni community by leaps and bounds to what it may have been about 5 years ago.
Right. And that really translates well to our 5 core pillars. Javon, as you know, we operate under our 5 core pillars: networking, community service, mentorship, professional development, and ambassadorship. Please explain with us today a little bit more about our 5 pillars and elaborate on those, please.
I'd love to. So our 5 pillars, once again, are community service, networking, mentorship, professional development, and ambassadorship. Now, community service is pretty self-explanatory, but we think it's really important to continue to give back to your community, no matter what capacity. But not only are we doing that for the alumni, for the students, but also the surrounding community. We actually just had campus beautification for GSU Cares, and it was a great time for us to bond with one another, but most importantly, to give back to the university. Networking, mentorship, and professional development are all kind of one and the same. But more specifically, what we want our members to understand is that not only are we going to continue to grow in our professional endeavors as stewards and as learners, but we also want to make sure we're lifting as we climb. That's the reason why we have such a close partnership with not just the Student Alumni Association, but also the Alumni Board. And finally, ambassadorship. So to be able to speak not just on behalf of the Young Alumni Council, but to really be a strong ambassador of Georgia State University, to represent it in the best light. We all are part of different affiliations and different professional groups, and we want to make sure that we can continue to allow Georgia State to have the name recognition it's had in the last 5 to 6 years, and continue to be agents of change, not just for the university, but for our surrounding community.
Awesome explanation, Javon. Thank you. All right, so let's shift into our next question. We have several different leadership positions a YAC member is allowed to apply and serve as. Troy, please speak to those different leadership positions a little bit more.
Of course. So we have a typical leadership structure, a part of YAC, and so we have 5 executive board positions, and then we'll go talk a little bit more about what we've got at the committee level. So initially, we have our president. President is responsible for a lot of the general responsibility for managing the Young Alumni Council, and then we have the vice president role, who's responsible for supporting the president, but also supporting our committee chairs as well in the various work that they have to accomplish throughout the programmatic year. Then we have a secretary. They're responsible for taking our minutes, creating our agendas, making sure our calendar is straight so that we are on the same page, so that we can be the most effective. And then I kind of want to talk a little bit about our committee chairs. Our committee chairs are responsible for managing our 2 primary committees. And so we have our partnerships and engagement, and we have our marketing and culture committees. And so I'll talk a little bit about our partnerships and engagement committee first. And so our partnerships and engagement committee, we have 3 subcommittees. We have an outreach subcommittee. They are solely responsible for curating our community service projects throughout the year, making sure they run effectively and making sure that we can have some great community service projects and outreach that meet one of our pillars. Secondly, we have a board relations subcommittee who's responsible for managing the relationship with the big board. You'll hear me say that frequently throughout this presentation. But the big board represents the Georgia State Alumni Board of Directors. And then they're responsible for managing communication, managing our lunch or brunch with the board program or series that we've developed over time. And then we have our student relations subcommittee. That subcommittee is solely responsible for working with students, a part of the Student Alumni Association, creating that network and creating workshops and mixers with them so that we can create that feedback loop and build that bridge between current students and former members of the board of directors. And lastly, we have the marketing and culture event. We're starting to kind of rebrand this or roll it out this year, but this year next year we'll have a digital engagement subcommittee. That subcommittee is solely responsible for creating our deliverables, communicating to our alumni, communicating to former YAC members, communicating to the honorees of 40 Under 40 awards, just building that network and making sure that our alumni are aware of the events we have. And then cultural development. This is the subcommittee that's responsible for really educating our alums and imparting on them how to be the best GSU alum and showing them what opportunities they have to give back and tap into our diverse GSU alumni community. And so that's kind of what our subcommittees are. That's our leadership at the executive position and our committees defined. And so we look forward to seeing you serve in either one of these capacities next year.
Thank you, Troy.
Thank you.
Thank you. So then if our viewers are interested in joining YAC, what might be expected of them as a new member, Javon?
Well, thank you for that question, Kristen. So one of the things we want to make sure that we all speak about and understand is that the things that you get out of an organization are directly correlated to what you put in. So before I say anything else, it's all about what exactly you put into the organization, and you'll usually yield results. So the things that we really expect from our members are to attend and participate in the scheduled board meetings. It's not that many. It's quarterly. All right, so there'd be 4. Contribute to the development of Young Alumni Council and also the Alumni Association. We also agreed to stay up to date on Georgia State news, to be abreast on all the things going on with Georgia State University. As an ambassador, as we talked about, that's important. To be familiar with the programs and activities sponsored, we'll make sure, especially at the board meetings, that we let you know what is coming up, what dates that you'll need to commit to, and just committing to those dates. To be a positive and enthusiastic representative and spokesperson of the university, of the Georgia State University community, kind of talked about that as well. Assist in the identification and recruitment of new Young Alumni Council members. As we mentioned before, we really haven't been around that long if you think about it from a greater scheme, but we want to make sure that we continue to grow and continue to advance, and then maintain confidentiality with pertinent university information. That kind of goes without saying, with you being in a position where you'll have very close affiliations with the board and the Student Alumni Association. We want to ensure that that information remains confidential when it needs to be. And then finally, most importantly, be engaged, because the organization will be just as much yours as anyone else's. And like I said before, what you put in is going to be exactly what you get out.
Right. 100%. Awesome explanation. With great member expectations comes great responsibility. So please explain our member responsibilities for our viewers today.
Absolutely. So one of those responsibilities that you have as a Young Alumni Council member is to serve a minimum of a 3-year term. And that is minimum. So you decided that you wanted to do it again. Come on and do it. I'm trying to convince Denise to stay, so we'll see if that works. Maintain dues paid membership for the Alumni Association. So there's a $100 minimum for Georgia State University Alumni Association Scholarship Fund that Young Alumni Council members are asked to give. It doesn't have to be right away. You can do it over the course of your 3-year minimum. You can break it up by month, a year. But the reason why we do this is because we want to give back to the scholarship fund. It isn't just so we can pocket it. It's actually so we can give back to the university. And then support the Alumni Association in one of the following 3 opportunities. I'm going to rattle off a few, but just know that we have the information on the website for you to reference as well. So don't feel like you have to have it all memorized right now. All right. So make any size gift to the Alumni Association during GSU Giving Day. That's one of the options. The second option is to obtain Georgia State University license plate. And the third option is to volunteer with the Young Alumni Council for GSU Cares. I kind of talked to that earlier, that point. It's really, really, really beneficial when you can give back. And serving your university is the best way that you can do it from the Young Alumni Council, but we also want to do the surrounding community as well. So GSU Cares is a great opportunity for that. All right. And then finally, you can support the Alumni Association in one of the 3 opportunities. Once again, don't feel like you need to memorize this. So host or co-host Dinner with 12 Panthers for GSU students. That's just being the bridge to make sure that we're lifting as we're climbing. Purchase a ticket to the Distinguished Alumni Awards. That's typically around $75. But once again, you do have the option to do one of the three things. And the third one would be to purchase a ticket to the 40 Under 40 Awards. We were super glad to have members from the Young Alumni Council be a part of that cohort. So hopefully you'll be one of those individuals as well. But if not, the Young Alumni Council is usually instrumental in how exactly that program runs. So we would love for you to participate in one of those options. And thank you so much for being here in the first place. Thanks, Kristen.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you. Thank you. Chauncey, you continue to help us plan and execute a lot of different events throughout the years, and some of those have become our YAC signature events. Please explain to everyone in a little bit more detail about those events and what they can look forward to.
Sure, of course. Over the past 5 years, I think YAC has definitely done a great job at making their mark and, finding, what our signature and what our brand is. So these are definitely some events that I think really are true testaments to our brand and our 5 pillars. So first, I would say, of course, our annual homecoming mixer. This is an event that we host every year during our homecoming week. It's a great time for young alumni to come together, celebrate those that are coming in town for homecoming, just let our hair down and have a great time and just be social, network, have a good time, and really get excited and spirited about homecoming. We also host an annual toy drive and service project to support the Ronald McDonald House during the holiday season. And this is part of our YAC Cares initiative. So one of our pillars is community service, and we do stay true to our brand and make sure we include community service throughout our programs. One of my personal favorites is our Best of Blue series. This was a series that was birthed during the COVID years, and we wanted to find a way to virtually engage our alumni and really give those alumni that are experts in their fields a platform to be able to share their stories and lead conversations on really exciting topics. We've covered things from relationship advice, money management, mental and physical well-being. The list goes on. So I am looking forward to continuing those programs and really creating more opportunities to showcase our talented young alumni. We also have a internal signature event that is our Brunch with the Board series, where we work with the GSU Alumni Association Board of Directors, and we create networking and social opportunities to connect the alumni board members with our Young Alumni Council members. And this really adheres to our professional development that we do with the Young Alumni Council, and also some mentorship in there as well. So it's a great opportunity that we can support our young alumni members and connect them to the level above with our alumni board. We also have our Panthers Winter Circle event, which is also something I'm really excited about that came out of COVID. We've hosted 3 virtually so far, and this will be our first year that we get to host in person, so I'm super excited about that. So this year with Panthers Winter Circle, it is an event that features esteemed alumni, and this year our goal is to make sure we have an alum from each representing each college to really be able to create a Panthers Winter Circle and create an opportunity to network with each other and really hear from these alumni who have done so many amazing things since their time as students at Georgia State University. We want them to be able to share their testimony, their little nuggets of life tips and skills with fellow alums. And lastly, a signature event we host is every May 3rd Thursday, which is one of our monthly happy hours that the alumni office hosts. Some of you have probably attended those. I may have seen some of you there before. And if you haven't, make sure you attend a third Thursday. You don't want to miss it. But in May, that Thursday is an event that the Young Alumni Council hosts to really welcome and congratulate our recent grads. We want to make sure that we roll out the blue carpet for them and let them know when they cross that stage that there's definitely an alumni family that's there waiting to greet them and be able to connect and network with them. So that's an exciting event that we host every year as well. And then we also give an opportunity to present class rings to those that purchase them graduating throughout the year. Even though these are our signature events right now, that does not mean that's all it can be. We definitely are always looking for, new ideas to bring to the table and new signature events that we can add to our calendar that we hope to see from years to come. So hopefully when you all apply and you join the Young Alumni Council, we'll be waiting to hear all those great ideas. And everything that's been shared today, I just definitely want to highlight that don't feel like you have to take it all in and remember it now. We will be sharing all this information, and you you also can find a lot of this on our website, which we'll share more details with you later.
Thank you for that awesome rundown, Chauncey. Thank you so much. Okay, Troy, can you please shed some light on how YAC has impacted the Georgia State community and our Atlanta community? Troy, I think you're muted.
I have a chronic problem with the mute button. So once you're in our org and you are on Zoom with us, you'll figure out I have a chronic problem with the mute button. So I apologize for that. But I'm so excited to kind of share with you, super pumped to share with you what we have done in the community and our impact, because it's arguably, to me, one of the most important aspects, a part of being a member of the Young Alumni Council here at Georgia State. And so we've had a immensely large positive reaction from members of our community based on from the work that we've been able to do. So that's between if it's building the alumni network, connecting with community partners, and working to host community service projects in the GSU alumni community. We have definitely seen so many people showing a large interest in what we are doing, and a large interest about what they can do to be a part. And so I'll just highlight a few kind of community service activities we've been able to accomplish. Firstly, we've been able to provide hundreds of gifts for families who might have gone without this holiday season. Hundreds. So what that meant was a whole bunch of YAC members of the board, SAA members, came together to bring gifts out of their pockets, and pay for them out of their pockets, and gave them to us so that we can give them and donate them to the Ronald McDonald House, a part of our YAC Cares annual toy drive and service project. That's impactful. Right. And so next, we've been able to help provide food for people who may have skipped a meal. A lot of people skip meals on a daily basis, and you may not even know it. And so the fact that we were able to work with the local nonprofit organization to make that happen and provide food potentially for someone who may have skipped a meal that night means the world to me, and it means the world to a lot of our members, a part of the outreach subcommittee, and members of our YAC community as well, and the Georgia State alumni community. And lastly, we've recently assisted in cleaning up our campus. We live in downtown. People litter everywhere. Georgia State is in downtown, and people litter everywhere. We want to make sure that GSU alumni come to our campus or come to their campus and really feel that connectivity with it. Make sure, ensuring that they're proud of where they graduated from. And lastly, I just want to highlight some of our key community partners. This list can be exhaustive, but it's not. But I'll just highlight 4. So we've been able to work with our GSU colleges like the Robinson School of Business, College of Arts and Sciences, and the Andrew Young School of Policy Studies to create that network, to build that relationship so that we can potentially, as Chauncey mentioned, build our Panthers Winner Circle, but not only just for the people who may speak on that panel, but so that we can build Panthers and winners in our Panthers overall. And so that's why we connect with our GSU colleges, and that's a key relationship with a part of YAC. Secondly, we partner with nonprofits. Many of you may know GSU is a nonprofit, but we also want to connect with other nonprofits to make sure resources are allocated effectively, used effectively, and utilized in the most efficient way as possible. Third, we connect with our Student Alumni Association. They're the us, but currently students, and we believe that they will begin to, they are the future us, as I mentioned before. And so we want to pour into them, create that bridge, and impart wisdom upon them so that we can have that not only a unique community, but we can also have dynamic leaders leading our in our industries and our communities in the future. And lastly, we really work with the board of directors. I've mentioned the big board several times, but we work with the big board to create mentorship opportunities for us internally. But the big board really loves to connect with us, and so you'll see a common thread that this is an intergenerational dynamic in which we all connect under this one umbrella that we're GSU alums, and we don't want each other to fail. And so we create this wonderful alumni family to tie everything together, support each other, and do things the state way.
Oh, thank you, Troy. That was really great. Really great. A lot of information we've covered about who and what YAC is and some of our involvement as well. But Denise, tell us a little bit more about our recruitment that new members can expect to endure.
Most definitely. You know, Kristen, this is my favorite time of year with the Young Alumni Council. We get this wonderful opportunity to open up applications to the diverse, qualified, wonderful graduates of Georgia State University. And it gives us a real opportunity to get to know them better, learn more about them, and see how they can fit in our projects. So I'm going to cover just a couple of key dates as we go through the recruitment process. It's going to sound a little lengthy. It's not. Most of the action is on us once an application is received. So let's look at it just over the course of the coming summer. Applications are officially open and will remain open through the whole month of May. We have exciting social content to share with those of you who are interested in joining YAC. So please, at a minimum, stay tuned to our social media channels. As mentioned previously, we've covered that there is a third Thursday event coming up in May on the 19th. Your executive board, as you see here today, will be represented. So if you have any questions, further information needed on the Young Alumni Council before you hit that apply button, we'll be there and are welcome to talk to you in person, live, and living color. In June, we note that applications will officially close on June 3rd. That is a key date. As we know, June 3rd, interviews will be scheduled in the weeks that follow, and selections will take place by the end of the month of June. Then as we roll into July, in the beginning of the month, we'll notify all new members and await their acceptance. Then have a new member orientation around the first full week in July, and an all-council retreat where old and new members will come together around the end of the month. And that's because the new YAC year kicks off in August, and we'll get right down to business with quarterly meeting and general council meetings, activating those monthly committee meetings, all those things that we have talked about before.
So many dates, so many dates. But don't worry if you weren't able to catch that all. We will be showing you where you can access that information after our informational session today. So now we're getting into the last question of the night. I will hand this over to our new president-elect for our upcoming cohort, Troy. Congratulations again to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Firstly, I want to say thank you to our current members of the Young Alumni Council who have entrusted me with leading this great organization into another year of programmatic greatness. And I also want to give a personal thank you to Denise Kennedy for being our fearless president in a time of transition.
Yes.
She's inherited a lot. But we want to thank her for her leadership and her organization as well. And so while we don't have any more official YAC events or YAC only events for the year scheduled, we do have an upcoming event I did want to make you aware of to celebrate recent graduates. I think Chauncey mentioned this before, and welcome them to the Panther alumni family, because that's what we're about. We're about bringing people in, making into our alumni family, as I mentioned before. And so that's on May 19th at 6 p.m. So you can visit alumni.gsu.edu to register. Okay. To register for that event, it'll be super fun. All of our third Thursdays or events are really fun. You get a chance to network with so many people. And so consider registering for that. And so additionally, I did want to make aware that you can watch us for updates or any additional information via our social media at GSU_YAC or on our alumni page or on our website that you'll find out what that is later. And one other date that I did want to make you aware of, our applications close on June 3rd. I'll repeat that again, June 3rd. June 3rd. Write that in your calendar, make a note, put it on a sticky note. but please make sure that you submit your application by June 3rd, because that is when our applications will close. And we want to make sure that you have an equitable chance of being considered for our organization, as we know that you can bring a lot of useful talent to our team and build our team to be the best that we can be. And so we want to make sure that you're aware June 3rd. I'll say it again so you're aware. June 3rd is when our applications close.
Thank you, Troy. June 3rd. June 3rd, June 3rd, June 3rd. All right. I do want to give a huge thank you to our panelists who were able to come here live and join us and answer all of the questions and present all of the information about our awesome organization, YAC.
And thank you to you, Kristen, for getting us all together and having this conversation with us so that we can post this recording on our platform so that you can access it after today's date. Again, go back, get the information, access those websites, follow us on the socials. So we're going to throw some of these at you. There's a QR code that you can access in order to find out more information about the Young Alumni Council. You can scan right here on the screen or find that on our website at alumni.gsu.edu/the YAC Young Alumni Council. And then if you're not already, be sure to follow us on things like Facebook and LinkedIn and Instagram and all of those platforms. We post exciting content, engaging content. A lot of our events are on those platforms. And so we're really excited to add you to the followers of those pages. We're also welcome to any feedback or suggestions that you may have to contribute to the Young Alumni Council, and we have an email address that you can submit those to. That's also if you have any additional questions about the recruitment process, or if we can answer any concerns you may have about time commitments, financial commitments, or any of those other questions that were raised while you were listening to us today. And that email address is yacmembersgsu@gmail.com, yacmembersgsu@gmail.com. Hey, Troy, just one more time, what was that date?
June 3rd. You can't
June
forget it.
3rd. That's
June
right.
3rd.
Applications close in just a few weeks. So keep that in mind. If you're not already planning to attend the May 19th, third Thursday mixer, you are now. So officially RSVP in the right place. And listen, your time commitment and pledge allows you to be an asset to this organization. And we count on you to help us define what the future of YAC looks like. So we value your input, your feedback, and more importantly, your participation, your engagement, and your presence as it comes to the Young Alumni Council or just being an alumni of the Georgia State University. So thank you all, team. Wonderful job. I appreciate you all so much. Chauncey, Kristen, thanks for running behind the scenes and keeping the conversation going. And I look forward to meeting a lot of you at the third Thursday mixer or reading through your applications and getting those interviews scheduled. Thanks for spending your time with us. We appreciate it.
Go State.
Have a good night.
Bye.
Good night.
Good night, y'all.